Hey everyone, welcome to Mystifying Miracles. I'm Kristen. Today my story involves a woman who gets to see her prayers were answered 20 years after the fact. The story takes place. It's 8 p.m. It's Budapest, Hungary, and the year is 1994. Wanda McLean was just finding her seat on the subway. Wanda loved her people-watching time, and this would be the time to do it. She had 5 minutes until her next stop. Sitting across from Wanda was a beautiful blonde woman, and she was just talking and playing with her small child. And Wanda gets lost in her thoughts. She's looking at the lady's hair, thinking how beautiful it is, and she's wondering, I wonder if she dyes that or if that's natural. So she's just lost in the people watching, right? When those thoughts were interrupted. A woman comes up to her and says, "Excuse me, do you speak English? Are you Wanda?" The woman had an American accent, and Wanda knew she recognized the face, but she couldn't put her finger on it. She struggled. It was frustrating because she was like, who is this woman? I know her, but I can't place the name. The woman chimes in again. She says, It's me, Cindy Larson." Immediately, Wanda's mind goes back to 1974. That was the year that Wanda met Cindy in high school. In fact, they went on to the same nursing school program and even had the same clinical rotations together. Their rotations that they had together were also in obstetrics, so Wanda's mind immediately goes to this thought from 1974. And there came a morning where they're having their rotations and their instructor pulls just Wanda and Cindy aside, just the two girls. She takes them to a secluded room and she kind of whispers below her breath. She says, I could lose my job for showing you this. And there in the middle of the quiet room on a stainless steel sterile table was a small child. You see, in 1974, abortions had just become legal. The two young girls, they're fresh out of high school and rotations. They had never experienced anything like this or seen nothing. So it was very impactful. Wanda remembers that, as does Cindy. They bond. They become close friends, Cindy and Wanda. And they start having deeper conversations about their lives. Cindy tells Wanda that, I was raised in church all my life, but once I got to college, I just kind of let go of all that. And Wanda was a great listener, so she would just listen and be kind. And Wanda would pray for Cindy during these times way back then. Well, there came a day where they had a longer lunch break than normal, and Wanda got to share her testimony with Cindy. Cindy was kind, and she said that, she admired Wanda's faith, but that just wasn't for her. She was young, she was vibrant, and she was living her life, and she was just interested in having fun while she could. Now we go back to the present day, or 1994 anyway, and here they are in this huge city of over 2 million people at the time, and it's 20 years after the fact. Wanda tells on the subway, she tells Cindy that I'm a missionary now. I do missionary work here in Hungary, and that was her passion, sharing Jesus with others. And then she asked Cindy, of all places, what are you doing here in Budapest, Cindy? Come to find out, Cindy and her husband had just arrived there, like within days. And she and her husband were brand new missionaries as well. Cindy tells Wanda that, I did accept Jesus as my Lord and Savior. It was 1 month after I last saw you 20 years ago. And then Cindy tells Wanda, I just wanted so badly to find you again one day, hope to see you so that I could thank you. Thank you for all those times you prayed for me and you shared your faith. I wasn't interested back then, but it made an impact. Well, a week passes from that point, and the two women decide to get together again. They both meet at a local coffee shop. Cindy ends up confiding that day in Wanda that, right out of nursing school when they lost touch, she kind of went wild for a moment, and she did end up having 2 abortions herself. Because remember, they bonded over that one experience from nursing school in 1974. She confides that in Wanda. She's like, and it ultimately led me back to Jesus, to his forgiveness and his redeeming peace. And that was kind of it story-wise, than to say, Wanda says that, she believes God allowed her to see that her prayers from 20 plus years ago were answered, not just from 20 years ago, but also from over 9,000 miles away when they were both back in the States. It was a comfort to her heart. It just goes to show you, when you feel like your prayers are not being answered, it's not that. It's just that God's timing is perfect. So never give up if you're saying a prayer, no matter what it's concerning about, or for whoever it's for. I encourage you to keep doing that, because that matters. Wanda was a missionary for about 37 years, and she did pass away back in 2014. But what a lovely story. I hope their testimonies, I hope they blessed you, and I hope you're having a great week. And I just thank you for watching, and I am going to see you guys next time.